I think a timely conclusion of the investigation with all significant prosecutorial decisions having been made can be accomplished before the election cycle begins in November.
Really?
I do.
Before November?
I do think so. I think that's still possible. Depending, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what he might find.
So Robert Ray tells me he thinks it's very possible this whole probe wrapped up before the midterms. Then what, if it were to fall that way? Let's go to Charlie Gasparino. What do you think?
Little breaking news, and we can put this in the context of whether you think it's going to be be ended soon. One of Trump's former campaign advisors, a guy named Sam Nunberg, is going to be called into the special prosecutor's office this week. Now, Sam's an interesting fella. I know him pretty well. He worked for Roger Stone and for Trump between 2011 and 2015. He was fired from the Trump campaign in 2015 over racially charged Facebook posts. I mean, you can read about this, but bringing him in this week, and we got this from sources close to the matter, is interesting because there's two ways of looking at it. Either because I'm not exactly sure what light Sam could provide on the campaign. He wasn't really part of the campaign.
But then the campaign started in 2015.
It started in 2015 officially.
Right.
So maybe they're just mopping up, just dotting I's, crossing T's. Let's talk to this one guy who was there for a long time with Trump. Or maybe they found a new direction. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're going to ask him. But what's interesting about Nunberg is that, and here's where I think it could be potentially problematic for the president. The president said over the weekend that he wasn't going to run until 2015. So all this Russian stuff is sort of a non sequitur, because how would they know I'm running in 2015 in 2014 when they started if I really started in 2015? And therefore there was no collusion. There's no there to the Russians helping me.
Right.
Now, Nunberg can really shed light on the notion that he was serious as early as 2011. And, because that's when Trump brought in Nunberg, working with Roger Stone, and they were seriously laying out a game plan to run for office. And as you know, in 2012, I think, is when Trump gave some interviews about wanting to run, seriously thinking about running. He didn't run that year.
He teased a lot over the years, but you're saying that this backdrop if you wanted to play, black helicopter, that there was a pattern here that could have involved Russians, but we don't know.
But I think what the Russians clearly wanted him to win. He clearly wanted to run for president increasingly starting in 2011. If he says he didn't want to run until 2014 or 2015, that he didn't make up his mind, someone like Nunberg can tell the FBI, well, that's not the case. He really wanted to run in 2011. He decided not to do the 2012 campaign. 2013, it heated up even more. And, here's the thing. There may be nothing there with this Russian thing. I think the analog...
And by the way, you would have to prove that Russian connection or that he was talking...
Here's where it gets weird. Like, if Donald Trump gives testimony to the FBI or to Mueller and says, listen, I didn't want to run in 2015, until 2015, and then you have people like Sam Nunberg saying, here's what we were doing in 2011, 2012, 2013.
But every candidate who formally announces versus what they're thinking of doing plots a strategy.
He was
years ahead of it.
But he was making very overt moves. Now, I don't know. I'm not there. But bringing this guy in, I think, is kind of interesting. We'll see what happens. Listen, the markets are, and before I was playing for a hit about the markets here. The markets are moving off this stuff. Now, whether this is nothing or something, I can't tell you.
We'll have to see. All right, buddy. Thank you very much, Charlie Gasparino.